I'm Billy Swanson, actor, writer, general pain in the ass kind of guy. Artist, specifically in Lexington, but all around. Major credit includes the Twilight fan film. When did I want to be in a film and why? Well, I was born in an advantageous year around 1986, so when I was a toddler and my brain was starting to take in stuff brand new, a lot of really great movies were coming out. Like 1989 is considered an epic year with Batman and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and stuff like that. My parents didn't really want to skip the movies just because they had a kid, so they were pretty liberal in their taking me to other films, to taking me to movies with them. As long as it wasn't too explicit, there was no problem. So that automatically, I was pretty hip to the notion that these were people that were making pretend for a living. These were people that weren't... Indiana Jones wasn't an actual guy, he was Harrison Ford, and he was playing this role. I figured that if other people could do that, why not me, being a young kid, like other kids want to be firefighters and all this other stuff, but pretty much from go, film and acting and the craft of it was definitely what I wanted to do with my life, making pretend for a living. And as you grow older, you get more and more directions in that path as to how to apply that, if you're crazy enough. And here I am, crazy enough to do so. So that's pretty much the root of it. The favorite thing I worked on was a zombie film that was shot in the tobacco district of Lexington before it became more gentrified. And actually, the building that it was shot in is now the University of Kentucky Studio for Audiovisual Art. But true to most things in art, we love that which hurts us most. So this was days of shooting and filming and acting. And have you heard of, Escape from Zombie Fortress? Of course not, because as with any medium, there's a challenge involved in getting things. It's one thing to create it, but then you have to distribute it and so forth. And so that script and stuff, everything that was filmed in my location, got moved over to another location and reshot, and it's somewhere or nowhere for all I know, but I put the effort in, and that was really a lot of fun. It was a lot of gung-ho indie filmmaking. So, what would be my dream job on a film project and why? Simple is to, get into one of those big franchises. Of course, to name something specific now seems a bit silly, but you shoot for the moon, but now everything that I like has suddenly become in vogue and has been done. So, you could say play the Punisher, you could say be Batman, but that stuff's been done to death. So I'll make the point more broad in that to be a part of a really special franchise like a Star Wars or something that hasn't been made yet, it's up to you to do it, Something that we haven't seen yet that is iconic like that, that has a lasting effect, that I think is a real goal. Every artist wants to be heard and remembered, and that's one way, I grew up on the summer blockbuster notion, so I definitely, that's a dream, right, to be a fly on the wall, to work in that aspect. And it always bugs me to read Facebook articles and stuff where it'll say, actor X really wants to play Moon Knight, or, take your pick of a character that this actor wants to play. It's like, well, no shit. A lot of people want to play Moon Knight. A lot of people want to play these roles just because they want it. That isn't good enough, and we as artists kind of know that, we kind of get that, but that's my little cause where that bugs me to no end, where it's just like, I want to be Batman. Everybody wants to be Batman, dude. You kidding me? There's a whole line of people out there wanting to be Batman. That's the whole point of the casting process. Nobody wants to fail in that way, but that's the dream, is to be an iconic character. What advice would I give the future filmmakers of America? Talking into the future is always an interesting prospect. And a lot of things are said with artists, specifically in our trade, be it acting or film, performing arts and the work that gets done in that. There's a lot of things going on nowadays because the success is what it is, because it is an art form. Sometimes the returns aren't as exciting as one would hope, but it's still an art form. So there's a tendency for people to hear a lot of negative, where it's, save your money, ramen costs the same no matter where you move to, things like that. And while that is true, I think now it's implicit when you take up the task of being an artist. The struggle that's ahead. That's what makes it such an intimate process, that we are willing to go out there, exposed to the world in whatever way that we are about to express ourselves. So we don't need the negativity, so I'm not going to give you the negativity, although it's out there. The advice I have that I've seen be the most effective in all things, but specifically the arts, so future filmmakers, is to never always keep your contacts open. Don't burn those bridges. Even with within reason, but even with unprofessional conduct, people change, and I think it's very important that you at least keep at arm's length, and in the age of social media that's very easy. Keep people in your phone book, once a year, just stay in touch, because you never know who's going to pop off or when you may need a helping hand, and suddenly that helping hand elevates you to a whole other level you didn't even think existed. And so that's really the thing. If we help one another enough, success will come from that, because it's a shared experience, because we're all just artists clawing at the goal to be expressed and to be heard. So if we're expressing ourselves and hearing out others, I think that will serve everyone better in the long run. That's my advice, is elevate your fellow man as much as you would like to be elevated, because we can all do it in our own little ways, but our own little ways kind of make up the tableau that is the art form. So just never give up and